Good afternoon, middle school Illini Central students. Welcome to your first week of Kloba's Korner. This episode is aired just for middle school students, and I just want to welcome everyone, and we will try to keep this brief. Kloba's Korner is a way for me to communicate with students about things that are going on in school, some things that I'm hearing that are going on in the classroom, things I might see in the hallway or in the cafeteria. It's a good way for me to communicate with you guys, to let you know maybe some corrections that need to be made and so forth. The first thing I want to talk to you about is support class, or your academic support class. We've been getting a lot of complaints of students going in there and not using it appropriately. That academic support or that regular support class, you need to begin and use the first couple minutes, the first 20 minutes, I believe, doing Alexia, Dreambox, and so forth. You all have a certain amount of minutes that you must complete. You need to complete those minutes. If you are finished and you have absolutely no other homework to do or nothing else to do, then you need to read a book. It is not time to be playing games on your Chromebook. For those of you who aren't aware, your teachers have access to Hapara, and they can close out and see what you're doing. But if you didn't know, we also have a program called Go Guardian, where I can go on and look any time that you're on using your Chromebook, and I can see what you're using. All right, so please use your Chromebook wisely. Use it for your homework, not for YouTube watching videos, not playing games. All right, so during that academic support and that regular support class, that is used for you to do your Alexia, your Dreambox. If you get finished with that, which you will, you need to do your homework. This is a great time to get caught up in class. I've been getting the eligibility report. I'm seeing a lot of D's and F's on there. All right, and if I really look into it, a lot of it is just students not doing their work. You have a support class. Do your homework during support class. Use your time wisely. You're going to definitely need this as you go on to high school. You're going to get more and more homework as you grow up and get further into schooling. All right, you have to start learning to use your time wisely. During this time, during your support class, it's not a time for you to goof off with your friends and your buddies or your girlfriends. It's not that time to do that. If you are talking, you're interrupting students, you're walking around the class a lot, guess what? You're not only distracting yourself and keeping yourself from working, but you're keeping your classmates from working. And that's not okay. If this continues, I'm asking the teachers, if students are disrupting class during support class, please write a referral and we will take care of it a different way. I really hate to do that, but boys and girls, it's not fair to those students who are wanting to get ahead and want to do their work, for those few students who just don't want to do anything. All right, use your time wisely. I can't stress that enough. Next, I want to also talk to you a little bit about the cafeteria. Some of you have been doing a wonderful job sitting in your spots, but I have noticed lately that some of you see some classmates gone and you're like, well, I'm just going to go sit over here today. That's not okay for our contact tracing. All right. In the perfect world, we would love to have you guys go back to the way it used to be, where everyone was able to sit wherever they wanted each day. They got to sit 8 to a table. It made things a lot easier, not only for you guys, but for the teachers and supervisors in there too. Now, we do have you guys limited to 4 to a table, and some of you have to sit around a single table around the outside. It's still better, though, than you guys having to sit by yourself like we did all of last year. So please make sure you're doing your job. Make sure that you are going to your seat and sitting in your assigned seat. The reason we have those assigned seats is that if someone gets sick at your table, we can contact trace. If someone has COVID, we can contact trace and we can let those students know, so that we don't have a big outbreak of students with COVID and then we have to shut down school. Okay, we don't want to do that. We want students here. And part of that is making sure that we contact trace and making sure that we are keeping students safe and we are social distancing. All right, so please do your part. Sit in your seats, sit where you're supposed to be. Don't be just because, there may be a day where everyone at your table is absent that day and you may be the only person. Well, you know what? On that day, get on your phone. You're allowed to get on your phone. Text your friends that are around. Talk to them that way. Don't get up and go move to a different spot. All right. If we continue seeing this, then we may have to take other steps. I know at the end of the quarter we talked about changing seats, which we still are planning on doing. But the way that some of our behavior with not sitting in their seats and moving around and not following expectations in the cafeteria, we may actually have to assign seats for next quarter. All right, and then we'll go from there, which I guarantee a lot of you won't like. All right, so please do your part. Sit where you're supposed to sit. All right, follow expectations. You guys are allowed to talk. If you need to get up and use the restroom, get up, go use the restroom. All right, if you need to return your trays, go return your trays and come back and sit down. But we're not going to go and sit and go, or we're not going to go return our tray and then stop at this table and talk to our friends over here, or talk to our friends at this table. I'm going to go sit down and talk to Johnny. I haven't seen him for a while. No, that's not okay. So take your stuff, put it up, and then go back to your seat. All right, and wait for further direction. Wait till the end of lunch. Okay. Don't forget also in the hallways, once you leave, you are going to exit to your right. Go follow all the way around. We're doing a one-way trip all the way down. You guys have been doing a pretty good job. I see a couple of you cutting across. We need to try to stop that. Follow the correct expectations. And I also got to just put it out there for all students. Please don't argue with your teachers, all right? They're not going to ask you to do anything that's going to be harmful to you. Okay? If they ask you to do something, you need to do it. If you don't do it, it's considered disrespect. It can be even considered gross insubordination, and you can find yourself getting in further trouble elsewhere. Okay? Just if they ask you to do something, if they ask you to pull out a book, if they ask you to read, try reading. All right? If you're just going to sit there and not do anything, then you're only hurting yourself. Okay? You need to come to your main job here at school is to come to learn. All right? So you need to do what you need to do to prepare yourself to come to school ready to learn. All right? We're going to talk a little bit about this in the next Kloba's Corner, but until then, I want everyone to have a great week. Make sure you're following expectations in the hallway, in the cafeteria, but also in the classroom. All right? You need to listen to your teachers. Do what they ask you to do. They're not going to ask you to do anything that will harm you. All right? Follow those expectations and you'll do great. If you have any questions in the meantime before the next Kloba's Corner, feel free to send me an email atkkloba@IlliniCentral.org. I will try to answer it in the next Kloba's Corner. But other than that, I want everyone to have a great week and stay classy, Illini Central.